Hello everybody, this is Dedra with Papercrafts and Planners, and today I am doing an unboxing and a project share for Pink and Main May 2021 Crafty Courtyard kit. This is my second month receiving it. I really enjoyed last month. It's different than other card kits I've received for a few reasons, and I'll tell you about them as we go along. Get this all out of here, this will make it easier. So most of the items come in this really nice zipper bag. And so I was able to put all my scraps and everything back in it when I was done. Okay, first of all, look at these sequins this time, the mix. There are butterflies in there. Really pretty. I really love that. Here is the little flare pin this month. Here is the little inspiration card. I cannot wait to see you. Got something stuck to my hand, sorry. To see you soar. That's really pretty. And then they've got the color palette here and everything that comes in your kit. So there are some glittery enamel dots. They've got some shimmer in them, which you probably can't see in the packaging, but it's really pretty. Here is here's the stencil. Look at that. Butterflies. I really like that. Okay, I'm looking forward to using that. Oh, let me put things on the other side so you're not getting as much of a glare. Here are the papers, and as I mentioned last time, I'm sure it's going to be the same. The papers are slick. They don't come in a tablet. They come individual like this. So there is a cover sheet showing you everything that you receive in it. So let me flip these back to front so you can see they're double-sided. So this is kind of a greenish yellow color, and then you've got the butterfly on the flip side. Here's a beautiful purple, almost looks like tie-dye or alcohol ink. And then you've got this blue, looks like water. It's really pretty. Okay, and here's some more. It's almost like a burlap background to these butterflies. Really pretty. And then you've got a pink with that watercolor. I know that pink's probably not showing up really true, but it is pretty. You've got a stripe and a purple watercolor. I can't talk today, I guess. These are all little polka dots in a rainbow pattern. And then a blue. Oh, there's like a weathered wood look to the back of this. Almost like a teal background with these white butterflies. And then you've got that burlap looking print. Here's a pink and white polka dot. And a stripe, which is like a greenish gray color. And this is rainbow print with the butterflies. And oh, that's pretty, like a bokeh print on some green. Bokeh pattern. Here are some white butterflies on some greenish blue, more like a teal. And then you've got another bokeh with the blue. Polka dot, green polka dot, and then a bokeh with a light blue. Here's more butterflies and a purple bokeh print. And here's like purples and blues all mixed together on that one, and then a blue and white polka dot. There is an embossing folder that looks like sun rays. That's really interesting. Here is the stamp set. So it says, let me read it. Be the change you want to see in the world. Without change, there would be no butterflies. You've got this. Butterfly kisses and best wishes. I believe in you. I cannot wait to see you soar. Spread your wings. I love this. Is like a floral pattern on one side of the butterfly and then the regular butterfly. Oh, and this says dream big. Really pretty. And then you have the die. Let me put this over here. You have the die that is that whole butterfly, and then it says, oh, what does it say? Sweet friend? I think that's what it says, sweet friend. We'll know when I cut it out, won't we? And then you have some 8.5 by 11. Actually, I think they're bigger than 8.5 by 11 because they're the basil, and it's got this strip here. So this is a purple textured with polka dots on it on one side, and then the other side is less textured. Same thing with this teal blue color, and same thing with this pink. It's kind of a bright pink. It's showing up washed out with my lighting, but it is bright. And then this is textured, but differently, not polka dots, and it is a darker blue. Really pretty. This seems more like a gray color than a white. What is it called? I think it said the color here. No, that didn't say. A glittery green. And then you have two of the white. Okay, that glitter did something to my lighting there. But you have two of the white cardstock that is 110 pound like we received last month. So I'm really looking forward to working with this. I am going to get some card bases cut and start coming up with some ideas. I do have some already. I have some ideas that just popped into my head as I went through this, but I'll come back with all the projects I make. Okay, for the first design I did, I'm just going to show you, but the rest I'll make on camera. The camera messed up on filming these, but these are just little mini slimline cards. So what I did was I took this textured paper that came with the kit. You know, it had raised polka dots on one side and then a little less raised on the other. And what I did was I cut them at 6 1/4 by 6 1/2. I scored them at 3 1/4 and folded them. And then, because what happens when you have these 6 by 6 paper pads is you get this perfect 3 by 6 if you cut them in half. 3 by 6 piece to layer on top of a mini slimline, which I really like. So I did that. I stamped the sentiment, "I cannot wait to see you score." I simply punched out more of the polka dot in a scallop punch and then punched out a pattern with a solid circle punch. And then I just used some of the enamel dots or whatever I thought went with it. And then I just put some white on the inside to sign. So really simple, really quick to put together. This one I just put one of the holographic butterflies down here. I didn't stamp directly on this because when I did, it just didn't show up. So I used a scrap of gray paper to do that instead. And then this one, got something on there. And again, I'm putting just white on the inside so you can sign if you'd like. And then this one I used 3 of the holographic butterflies, which are so pretty. Something I forgot to tell you is the kit came with these a free gift of these wax pencils, so I'm going to try to use those throughout the video. Okay, moving on to the next card. Okay, for this next one I cut a really pretty piece of this sort of, it looks almost like alcohol ink, at 4 by 5 1/4 to go on the top. I cut this at 3 by 2 3/4, I believe it is. Let's see, it's just over 3 and 2 3/4, and I'm going to put that there. And then I have a black strip here that will go all the way across, actually a little over, so it's like the width of the card, so it's 5 1/2. Then I punched out a circle in that gray color that, oh no, this is the backside of a pattern paper, I lied. So it has a little bit of a color to it, a little bit of that greenish color. And I stamped "I believe in you" on it. So we're going to put this together. I think what we're going to do is do a little inking around the edges maybe of this piece here. And I don't have my little buffer, my little finger dauber out here for some reason. So I'm just going to old school it and run it along like this, because I think that sort of adds something to it. So it's just not quite as stark white around the edges. I really like that. This color is Pretty Pansy, and it is a Fun Stamper's Journey color, an older one. They are going away, but I will link to it. I think they're actually on sale because they're not going to be a thing anymore. So you can probably get a good deal on them. They are a fusion ink, which is a dye and pigment together. So you can generally use, if you let them set up, alcohol inks and watercolor, but you have to let it set for a bit. And I am having problems with my adhesive coming out, so the next one might just be that I'm getting low. So the next ones I may be using a tape runner, which I don't normally do. So we'll see how that goes. I can't get this to flow properly for the video. Okay, center that up, and then I'm going to put the black across first, I believe. It's going now. Okay, I think we're going to be okay. And I've got a grid here, and I'm not even using it to get this sort of even, which I could totally be doing. Okay, then we're going to put this down here. And I could pop this up. That would be pretty also if I did that, but I'm not going to. I do it very simple. Which way does this go? So the butterflies are every which way, but I kind of like if we do that pink one that's right there in the center, you know, kind of going upwards. And then we have this little "I believe in you." Just stick that right about there. And what do you think? Do we need a little bit of maybe some purple? I think that would be pretty. Let's do 3 of these purple here. I should have gotten out a tool to do this. And maybe, let's see, maybe blue one. A couple of blue down on the bottom. Let's see about that. Blue one there. On this one, because of the pattern of the butterflies, I thought that I would do a strip and make it go across like this. I thought that would be really pretty. So I just cut a strip of paper, you know, wedge the edges like that, and then I put some of this pretty pansy all around the edges to go there. And then I fussy cut out a couple of butterflies that I thought would be pretty on the top. Now you can see on this card base, I got something all over it. So this is going to cover the entire card base. I cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so you won't even know that I made that mistake. Won't have a clue that I did that. And I did ink around the edges of this also with that pretty pansy. Okay, so I'm going to put this down across, and I'm just going to kind of pick a spot where I think it would look pretty. No special area, that's where I think it looks good. And then we're going to put this butterfly right up here, I think. What do you think? Without changes, there would be no butterflies. I like that. Just like that. And then down here, we're going to put, I think, just a few of these blue ones, maybe. Maybe that. Let's see. Just a blue and a blue. Let's see. Right about there, maybe. Let's look. And then a blue one up here next to the butterfly, I think. There we go. So I'm just going to do like that. And then on the inside, I thought we would put this other butterfly right here where it kind of shows through the mess up on the card base. I just didn't want to waste it. So put that right there. And I have this piece. I could put it here, but I think I'm just going to leave it. I think that looks good enough the way it is. So there you go. Okay, on this one, I cut a square, a 2-inch square. And then I just sliced it right down the middle using my paper trimmer. And then I punched out 2 of these 1.5-inch circles, and I'm going to kind of layer them together. And this is the back side of this. So it just had a little bit of a pattern to it. Okay, so first let's put this on top of the card base. Okay. And again, this one's covering the hole, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then we're going to put one of these in each corner. Put it up against right there. And this one in the other corner. Okay, so I thought we would take this black and kind of put it across. I thought that would be nice. So let's just do that. I'm just going to, I had this strip left from cutting a 12 by 12 piece. I'm sure I cut it out of, I took it out of my scrap bin before I went cutting more black. And so I'm going to put this all the way across there. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just trim it off. And then trim it here. Okay. Oops, got a little bit of my card base there. Okay, so then I'm going to take this piece and do the same. Or what's left of that piece. Get plenty of adhesive on there. And butt it up against that. And then trim it off. I think that looks really pretty. So then we're going to layer these 2 onto each other just to give some interest. So I'm going to put this one down first, I think. Right, pretty much center. I'm going to put this one on top with the stamping, spread your wings. Now the way I got the stamping is it was a long stamp, and I didn't want to use it that way. So I just inked up portions and did it. And the way you can do that is to take a little mini Post-it note and cover up the rest of the stamp, ink it up with the black, remove the Post-it note, of course, because it's going to have black all over it, and then just stamp that one little spot. So that turns out really nicely, and I think this turned out really cute. I really like that one. Okay, on this one again, I have a white card base, so I'm going to layer some black just for some interest. I think it looks really pretty with this bokeh print. So we're going to put that on there first before we do the rest of our card. And I'm going to put it, it just left about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I didn't want a big border, just a little bit for some interest. There we go. I'm going to put this on the card. Right there. So it's covering, so this black is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, and then I took and cut a strip that's about 2 1/4 by, not quite, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, a little over 4 1/2. And then I came up on the edges, and then I mounted it on some of this black again. And then I cut the black, I trimmed the black all the way around. So we could put this right there. That. Okay, and then I cut out of black the shadow for these, and then I cut the sweet right there. So we're going to put the sweet on top of the shadow. Just give it a little adhesive here and there, and mount it on that black. Let's make sure we can, I did not get my tweezers out, so let's make sure we can get that where it goes. Move it around a little bit so we get it just the way we want it. That says sweet, and then this one says friend, which I really love. And since I did it on this sturdy print that goes with the collection, it's one of the printed papers, I'm going to get it a little sturdier than if I had done on, you know, just like a thin paper. So sweet friend. And then I thought I would do a little piece of black, but I did not cut it ahead of time. So let's see if I can get that where it needs to be. To do a little piece of black at the top, just for some interest there. Just so it's not quite so plain there at the top. I think it needs something. So we'll put that little piece right there. There we go. And then we'll put these down. Just like that. And then this one over, which is why I put this over that side a little bit. So it's kind of even when I get everything on. About the same distance apart. And then I have this strip, so I thought I would just go ahead and put it on the inside, just for a little more interest on the inside of the card to kind of match it up. So put it on, and then I will trim off the end of it. Let's see, put it all the way to the top. And then all I have to do is trim off that little piece at the bottom. And there you go. It turned out really cute. Okay, on this one I used some more of that thick white to make a card base with it. I have a black matting piece that's the exact size of the card front. And then I took some of this watercolor and I just stamped in black. I used a dye ink. I just used this close to my heart one that I had on the desk. Now you can see right here I made a boo-boo. I let it touch a baby wipe that I was cleaning the desktop with. So, but we're going to fix that. We're not going to waste it. We're going to fix it. So let me put this on the card front. And this is the exact size, so we're going to just match it up like that. There we go. And then we're going to put this down. And I've left about 1/4 of an inch all the way around this one. And then I took this strip and I stamped, "I cannot wait to see you soar." We're going to put it all the way there, and then we're going to cut it off at the end here. And I'm going to cover up that little spot with it. So again, we're going to do it all the way across like that. Oops, I need to go a little bit farther. And all I did was take this strip and put it on some black paper and then trim around it. That's all I did. And there you go. And I think that's perfect the way it is. I don't really think it needs anything else, but we're going to put something else anyway. We are going to put some of these littler white ones, I think. Let's see. Let's put this one right here. There. And then maybe a couple more down here maybe. Let's do that. Let's try that, see what that looks like. And let's move that one over. I think we want to move it over a little bit if we can without damaging it. There we go. I think that looks good. I really love this one. Okay, let me show you what happened the first time I stamped with this giant butterfly stamp. I ended up with this spot here, and it was, I couldn't see it, but what it was a piece of the material they'd made the stamp out of. And when I took something and just sort of slid, or maybe my fingernail underneath it and slid it off, I was able to get it off, and then it stamped quite nicely. It didn't leave like a mark or an indent or anything. I very carefully slid it off though. So then I colored this. So what I did with this one is I used it to practice my colors and figure out the colors that I wanted to use. On this, I took the front of my card, the thicker card that came with it. I taped it down. I put the stencil on and stenciled with some Distress Oxide. And I will put the color down below. I think it was something lipstick. I'm not really good at the colors, but. And then I stamped this "I Believe in You" in black dye ink. Okay, and we are going to put this butterfly. I colored the butterfly in Ohuhu markers, and I know everybody does not have alcohol markers, but they are something that I just like to do. And this is going to make our card just a little, our butterfly just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to trim off the edges of it, so where it hangs off. So we're going to put it down. Let me get it to where I like it. There we go. And then we're going to trim off the edges of this butterfly, because I will never get in an envelope if I don't. And I think that one's pretty just the way it is, but of course you could always add some bling to it if you wanted to. Okay, so this, after I cut all the pieces, ended up being my least favorite, but I'm going to show it to you anyway because someone may like it, right? Just because I am not that happy with it. So this is a purple card base, some purple paper. And then I cut this piece, and it is 2 by just over 4. And then I cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to put this on the front. This was kind of a wilder pattern with all the stripes and very colorful, and I really wanted to use it. So this is how it ended up being used. Okay, put that down. And then here are the shadows. I cut in just a light blue that I had in my stash. And then I used this polka dot greenish paper to do the words for it. So let's get those put together. You could see on the black was like a little blue pattern that I opted not to use since I was using a blue for the background. Okay, let's put this on here and get it lined up exactly how we want it. There we go. And then friend. So this is kind of similar to the card I already did, but I wanted to use all of these patterns that I hadn't used on anything else. Sometimes I'm not very brave with combining patterns in these kits. So I wanted to use some very colorful ones that normally I would shy away from. we go. Okay, so we're going to put this right there. And then add the sweet friend. Okay. Go. I'm not sure why it's harder to stick to the slick paper, but we'll get it. All right, and then I had a little piece of black somewhere here. Here we go. And I thought, again, we would put a little bit across the top just for more interest. So I know this is a 2, so we'll cut this at about a 2. And that should fit. And just put it across the top there. It's a little bit wider. I'm okay with that. And put that across the top. And I think that's really cute, but very wild for me. It's kind of blinding me. Okay, so in this one I had a light blue card base in my stash, so I decided to use it with all these bokeh prints. I used a die from Spellbinders to cut this out, and it gives that little, I don't know if you can see that little detail around the edges, which I really like. So we're going to adhere this down. Some of these slick papers require a little more ink, or a little more glue, sorry. Okay, so I have this Dream Big. I have this big scallop, this piece, and then I cut some circles out. This one for down here. We're going to do this, or this one for up top, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do this a little more to the top. And then we're going to do this one down here, and then a different color right like that. So I know it's 4, but I still think it looks good like that. Okay, so let's put these two together. And again, this is just some purple I had in my stash. And we're going to put it right about there, I think. Okay. So let's slide this there. Right about there, I think is good. I might put this on top. Slide that under there. Slide this one back there. And then this one at the top. I'm going to slide it under. And there you go. I like this one. I know the bokehs are really similar, but I really liked the look of this. Okay, on this one I used that heavier cardstock for my white base again. I cut out a piece of this burlap looking. It's going to be my bottom base, and it's on the back side of the teal that we're going to use also with all the butterflies. So I'm going to put this one down first. Try to get that even. Can. And then this one's going to go down next, and it is just like a watercolor, but I turned it on its side. You know, I don't think I ever end up using this polka dot with all the different colors and patterns. The polka dot pattern with the colors going down. I never end up using that one on anything. Okay, and then I cut an oval with this, which I really liked. I've got this You Got This, and I can't decide if I'm going to do it across like that. I think I will. Okay, so let's put this one down first. This is a lot of layers, so that's why I use that heavier cardstock for my base. Okay, do it up a little higher. I'm going to do that right like that. And then we're going to do some little dots around, I think. You know what? I think I want that centered more. I think I want it centered more, a little bit. wrap this. And then I'm going to put these down around. Maybe a big one here. Some little ones up here. And I think that one turned out really pretty too. I love that teal. So, so pretty. Okay, here are all of our cards. I really appreciate you all watching my video. If there's anything I made that you want some more details on, that you know, of how I did something, just let me know below and I will try to do that. I really loved all the colors. This was such a fun kit to work with. I don't know if the kit's still available, but I think all of the pieces are still available to this kit. So you can get the individual pieces, I do believe, but I'll link to whatever there is. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Happy crafting.